The statement that Jesus said, "The Father is greater than I," can be found in the Gospel of John chapter 14 verse 28. This passage has been the subject of much theological discussion and interpretation. Here are some key points to understand this statement and how it fits into the Christian belief that Jesus is God. Context of the Incarnation. 1. Incarnation. Christian doctrine teaches that Jesus is both fully God and fully human. 1. This belief is known as the hypostatic union. 1. In his humanity, Jesus took on human limitations, which included experiencing hunger, thirst, fatigue, and even death. 2. Role and relationship. In his incarnate form, Jesus submitted to the Father's will. 2. This subordination is functional rather than ontological, meaning it pertains to Jesus' role and mission rather than his divine nature. 2. When Jesus says, "The Father is greater than I," he is speaking from the perspective of his humanity and his mission on earth. Functional subordination. 1. Mission and submission. During his earthly ministry, Jesus voluntarily submitted to the Father's authority to fulfill his mission of redemption. 1. This functional subordination does not imply inferiority in essence or being. 1. Instead, it reflects the different roles within the Trinity concerning salvation history. 2. John chapter 14 verse 28. In this verse, Jesus is comforting his disciples by explaining that his departure, through his death, resurrection, and ascension, is for their benefit. 2. His return to the Father is part of the divine plan, and the Father's greatness can be seen in the context of the unfolding of this plan. Divine nature. 1. Equality with God. Other passages in the New Testament affirm Jesus' divinity. 1. For instance, John chapter 1 verse 1 states, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." 1. Philippians chapter 2 verse 6-11 also emphasizes that Jesus, who was in the form of God, humbled himself by becoming human. 2. Trinitarian understanding. The Christian doctrine of the Trinity teaches that the Father, the Son, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are three distinct persons but of one essence. 2. Thus, Jesus' statement about the Father being greater does not contradict his divinity but rather highlights the distinct roles and relationships within the Trinity. Purpose of the statement. 1. Encouragement. Jesus intended to reassure his disciples, who were troubled by his impending departure. 1. By stating the Father's greatness, he was emphasizing the assurance and trustworthiness of God's overarching plan and sovereignty. 2. Immanence and transcendence. The statement illustrates the immanence of Jesus, God with us, and the transcendence of the Father, providing a fuller picture of the divine relationship and the plan of salvation. In summary, when Jesus says, "The Father is greater than I," he is not denying his divinity. Instead, he is speaking from the perspective of his incarnate mission and the functional subordination he willingly took on for the sake of humanity's redemption. This aligns with the Christian belief in the Trinity, where Jesus is fully God, sharing the same divine essence as the Father, yet distinct in person and role within the divine economy.